Hey birdies, I'm Sunshine Flying, you can call me Tia, and today we are doing another shell challenge. I am so excited about this one. I had so much fun with it. I love these puzzle challenges, and while it took me a while to figure out the floor plan, I think it is probably one of my favorite builds I've ever made. So this is a shell challenge for HiHelloRachel. If you do not follow her, I've got her socials in the description box below. I highly recommend checking her out. She does some really awesome stuff on Twitch and on YouTube, and she's just a really awesome, wonderful person. So definitely check her out. This shell is the 88th birthday shell challenge. She definitely looks younger than 88, so I will say that. But it was a lot of fun trying to figure out how to do this shell in 88 tiles, technically under 100. So the tiles that she provided, those squares that I had to kind of make sense of, those totaled 88 tiles. Then from there I could add up to 100 to create this home. And so a lot of the extra that I added was either just little porch space or little green space. So it was definitely a challenge. I wished I could have done more patio type spaces, but I believe 98 was the final total. And as this home came together, I realized, hey, this does not really fit in Newcrest. So very soon here, we are going to be transporting this home to Oasis Springs. And so that inspiration kind of came from when I started adding these cacti and succulents to the little planter box on the side of the home. So here I am uploading it in one place and moving somewhere else to place it in another. But essentially, the rules of the challenge, they are in the description of this shell if you want to go check it out for yourself. But in essence, you have to use every single square or piece provided. You cannot change the walls, so I got around that by using archways and stuff on the inside. You'll see that shortly. But otherwise, just, making something out of it. It didn't necessarily have to be a home, but that is just kind of my default when I do stuff like this. But I definitely did a lot of this green space succulent kind of decor around it, and did a lot with like sand colors, beiges, natural colors, and stone. And I'm overall really happy with how it turned out. Even though the roof trim is really chunky, solely just to cover up those pillars that I can't get to shorten, I am really happy with how it turned out. The sunroom off to the side as well. I love angular pieces off of builds, and I was so excited to see that in Rachel's shell. So really pleased with that and really happy with how it turned out. Here I had a bit of a challenge. I wanted to center the door, but I couldn't because there is a wall there and we could not remove the walls. So had to get creative, had to kind of embrace an asymmetrical look off the front, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I really loved playing with these big wide open windows and this idea of just like letting all that natural light in. And doing more of these planters. As long as I didn't close them completely with that trim, they did not count towards the tile count, which was awesome and a nice little workaround there. So when she does load this up, she will see that I did not go over the 100 tile requirement. So if you are a tiny home fan, this is considered a small home because it's 100 tiles or less, but still does the trick. You'll get those special lot traits, and I just think I would love to live here with all that natural light coming in, and just this greenery in an otherwise kind of dry beige world, But I just had so much fun kind of experimenting with the inside and outside. I know I do a lot of modern homes, but don't always do them in Oasis Springs. I tend towards the more black and white type homes, and so this was something new, and I am curious what you think of it. I know it's similar to the style that we see in a lot of the Oasis Springs kind of EA builds, but a little more modern than I think its surrounding homes. I kind of went overboard with those little pillars there, so we will kind of downplay how many of those are eventually. But I also have to say, Batu did some heavy lifting here with the wallpapers. And it's honestly, I would say, an underrated pack. Batu comes with some great tiles, some great wallpaper, some really awesome lighting, especially if you're going for that industrial type vibe. I also struggled here because I wanted that awning to center over the door, and that window was kind of in the way, so eventually I just got rid of the window. And played with some of these like walls on the sides or front of the at the front of the balcony. I really desperately wanted to get stairs in here, but it just wasn't going to be feasible with the size of the home. So what I ended up doing was putting in a ladder instead. So there is that, but I think it's really nice. And then I just put these archways in, so I wasn't removing any doors. Though I did, it looked like I edited the walls, but it was really just an easier way of rotating that L-shaped cube, because I did want there to be a separate bathroom and bedroom. And as it was previously, you would have walked right up that ladder into the bathroom. So had to change that up a little. So the upstairs is kind of the more private living space with the bathroom and the bedroom. And then down on the main level, we'll have a dining room, a kitchen, and a living room. And the dining room kind of doubles as like an entertaining room since it is fairly large and it is that sunroom. But I had a lot of fun kind of trying to make sense of all these interesting shapes and how they worked together. As always, the curtains were a pain in the butt to try to get just right on the windows, but eventually I did get them. I will say Island Living did a lot for the interior as well, but really just tried to go for a super clean, kind of sophisticated vibe in this home. It is a super modern kind of look. I love the angled tub concept, but I did not end up sticking with it for this one. But just having kind of this nice open bathroom, some greenery, some rugs, some towels, and a nice little lamp over the tub. I love putting those in, especially that particular one, because it's just such a nice, cozy vibe, having just that light on when you are in the bath. I wish I had something like that in my own bathroom, but unfortunately I do not. I went ahead here with even more green space. Definitely seemed like this sort of place was a home that would be loved by a plant lover, having those greenery patches in an otherwise kind of dead sandy world. And then stuck this desk here in this little kind of nook off of the other rooms. I will also add this build has been play tested. I don't always play test all of my builds, but this one has been play tested and is 100% functional, including this desk off to the side buried with all of these plants. So I hope you do enjoy that as well. In the bedroom, we did not really bother about centering a bed in it at all, just stuffed it in the corner, because this likely is a home for either one sim or two, and I believe you can make them scoot. But I only play tested for one sim. I think it'd be an awesome place for a solo sim to move to, maybe get started, just a couple steps in with a rags to riches. You could get this home without the furnishings, but all in all, I I don't know, I think it's the perfect place for one sim. You could get away with 2 sims. There's not a ton of skill building though. You'd probably want to add a bunch to the yard or something like that. But the bedroom does have its own private little balcony up on the 2nd floor with seating for 2. So if a sim does have a guest, if they are not in a relationship, they can lounge there in the morning. I kind of kept rolling with this burnt orange theme here in the kitchen and used that for the countertops and the appliances as well. Really happy with how it looks, actually. I'm not usually a burnt orange fan. It's grown on me recently. I actually added it to my palette of colors for my wedding coming up as well. So that was a surprise to everyone, especially me, but really think it looks nice, especially with blues, and just really happy with how it turned out. And kind of, I played with a lot of different shelving types in the kitchen too, instead of just having cabinets, and I'm in love with this kitchen, honestly. Between the closed cabinets, the open shelves, the clutter on the counters, that eco shelf above the fridge, like I don't even know how I came up with half of this stuff, but I'm really, really happy with how it turned out, and definitely curious what you all think of it as well. But I would say this is definitely not my usual kind of build, but I'm very happy with how it turned out, and think it's super cute. So just finishing up, kind of cluttering up the space here, some pots and pans, some mail, just clutter. And then I did cover up those hooks on that shelf with some cookbooks on top of the fridge. So definitely trying to use every bit of shelf space I could, and a bunch of counter space too. And yeah, I'm just overall really pleased with how it looks. And so now the last couple of bits is the living space and then the dining space. And the living space is pretty small, but there is seating for at least 3 sims. I did put 2 different chairs in there, end up with a lamp, and I don't remember if I put a coffee table in, but it was really hard to find a rug that fit. I remember I was working on this with my husband in the room, and I just kept grumbling about it, and he just like did not understand the frustration because he doesn't play Sims. But in the end, I think it turned out really nicely. I even added an easel in there, which is functional. I have tested that as well. And then the dining room, like I said, it's fairly small in terms of dining seating, but there is a bar, so you could have more people there. And then I just added some fun lights on the walls, that bar shelf. So it's a really great entertaining space, and I think it is just, it's really fun, I think, and it would be so cool to host people here. And all of this is even before I even get to the yard. So, in the yard itself, I used more tiles that I've never used before and kind of tried to imitate the landscaping around it. And so that meant a lot of rocks, some weeds and grasses, and of course some palm trees. I did add more green space and eventually decided to add an entire pool in the back. Because, you know, you're in Oasis Springs, why wouldn't you swim in a place so warm? But I tried new stuff with the pool as well, trying more wallpapers and flooring and some floor lights instead of just some lamps on the side. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out, in combination too with the lighting that I added here. And so none of this technically counts, I guess, towards my tiles for this challenge or anything like that, but it just, I wanted it to be the all around, like, I just kept envisioning like the kind of Airbnb that I would want in a place like this, and this is definitely it. And so I'm adding a bunch of like fairy lights on the outside as well. I had some struggles with the like rotation of some stuff, but wanted to make it like its own little desert oasis in the backyard, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I think these rope lights were really nice, and once I got the rotating stuff to work for me, I think it turned out really, really well. And of course, more green space, because why not? Just making it look super kind of festive, and I would definitely want a vacation here. I don't know about you. and just adding some more to the outside too, some ferns, some agave plants, some weeds, and I just really love how the landscaping on this home blends in with the landscaping around everything else. I don't always try to do that, but in this particular build I thought it was really kind of, it added to it, it elevated it, so to speak. And so here we just kind of get to customizing the pool a little bit more, adding the ladder, the floaties, the diving board, and of course some outdoor entertaining space as well. The grill, the cooler, the seating, and of course some lounge chairs. So I think we are nearing the end of the build here, and so what I will do is head into the screenshots next, I do believe. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Rachel will be touring shells on August 12th, so if you're watching this before then, do check out the shell challenge. If you enjoy doing them, you definitely still can. You can probably go work on it even after she tours the shells on Twitch. It was super fun. I am so glad that she offered this challenge and that I did it, and I hope you all enjoyed as much as I did. So, thank you all so much for watching. Do let me know what you think in the comments down below. I always love hearing feedback from you all, what you enjoy seeing, what you'd like to see next, and all of that good stuff. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, birdies.